I found something that I enjoy, that challenges me, that I can challenge myself from an entrepreneurial standpoint, as though like, can I really do this? And can I do it multiple times over? And can I do it well? I love people. And so I built this agency with my friends by my side. They're the reason I enjoy coming to work every day. For me, if it weren't for the people, I don't think it would be as enjoyable doing it solo. That's always been a strong why, is the social aspect of interacting with people from all different backgrounds.
You're listening to the Rich State of Mind Show, the podcast made to make you the total package in the entrepreneurial world and give you what we call a rich state of mind. If you are here looking to learn about real estate investing, marketing, elevating your business, and developing your mindset to get to the next level, then you are at the right place. Stay tuned and be sure to join our community on richstateofmind.com. Now here's your host, Anthony Ritchie.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Rich State of Mind, where I'm talking to Cory Young. Just give you a little bit of backstory on him. While he was working a full-time job, he was able to identify a gap in the market for SaaS companies that needed data-driven strategies and creative content. So he created BCC Interactive, which we're going to talk about that a little bit. And this is an SEO and data analytics focused digital marketing agency. Cory went from completely unknown career path to growing BCC Interactive to over 6 figures in revenue per year, making over $10 million for his clients in less than 2 years. Among that, other notable highlights, Cory has consulted for brands such as Comcast, Campbell Soup Company, and the MBA on marketing and customer acquisition strategies. He's also won multiple digital marketing awards from industry-leading institutions. He's spoken at conferences around the U.S. about marketing and scaling online businesses. Cory, currently lives in Philly with his wife. He loves the Eagles, which, by the time this comes out, they would have just whooped Minnesota Vikings this past Monday. So I'm pretty sure he was happy about that. But as always, please enjoy. Thank you for listening.
Hey, Cory, thanks for taking the time on this Tuesday to talk about pretty much, like I said, SEO, but that's like a small part of what we're talking about here. Actually, we're going to talk about how we could be better than that. So if we could just please talk, if you could please just talk a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Sure. My name is Cory Young. I am the founder of BCC Interactive, an SEO agency based in Philadelphia, but with a team nationwide. And to tell the truth, I honestly had no idea what SEO was coming out of college. I went to Temple University in Philadelphia in the era of Allen Iverson, Stephen A. Smith. That was who I looked up to. I wanted to be a sports writer. So I wanted to be the next Stephen A. Smith, Stuart Scott, so on and so forth.
Stuart Scott.
Yeah. But it just so happened that I graduated right at the beginning of, or right in the thick of, the recession in like 07, 08. So that was at the time where newspapers were trying to figure out how they were going to make money, because they were losing money with the internet delivering information for free, right? Nobody wanted to buy a paper anymore. And this was before things like paywalls, because nobody wanted to pay for information that they thought that they could get for free. So that left me in an interesting spot where newspapers were laying people off left and right. I wanted to try to get into the industry, but there was basically no room. So I tried my various side hustles, tried to sell like Cutco knives, vacuums, did a bunch of telemarketing, things like that, to no avail really, until I was just basically Googling online, different ways to leverage my technology skill set, because I had originally gone to school for MIS, Management Information Systems. It's kind of like computer science. Okay. So as a result, I found this thing called search engine optimization, which allowed me to blend my knowledge of computers with creative writing. And I had honestly never heard of it. So that was the beginning of my foray into the SEO world. And I just really kind of studied up on it for the next, year or so until I felt comfortable applying to marketing positions without a marketing degree.
Okay, so fast forward, we go from that part of your life.
Yep.
What got you all the way into creating Interactive?
So I was able to parlay a lot of like on the job training in the SEO world because it was somewhat new. So I wasn't completely behind the eight ball, not understanding, exactly what it was, but some really solid mentors as well allowed me to get to the point where I worked at Comcast for a number of years, where I really, really honed my skills. And that gave me the confidence to start BCC. I actually started it alongside my years at Comcast. So I started it kind of as a side hustle, doing it during my spare time, and then really made the leap to go full time with that once I felt comfortable in not only my skill set, but my honestly, my entrepreneurial mindset, because I had never planned on being an entrepreneur. I don't want to say I fell into it because it was very intentional, but coming out of school, you're trained to work 9 to 5. I was in that mentality until I was shown another door was possible, through sites like Upwork and things like that, where I was really able to get my foot in the door and said, okay, I think I can really do this, as a entrepreneur and a founder. And so I took the leap.
Okay. All right. So how long ago did you take the leap?
I took the leap in 2017, 2018, and really focused on not only building up my brand, but building up the people around me to be able to get the work done that we wanted to get done while I was still almost learning to be an entrepreneur and still kind of I was taking some contracts, on the side to, continue to have consistent cash flow coming in. But yeah, that was when I decided to take the dive into the pool and become an entrepreneur.
And you say contracts on the side, you were helping people with their traffic for their websites?
Yeah, exactly. Still helping some like major corporations doing part-time contract work, for them, doing some consulting on various marketing ventures that they were getting into.
All right. So with the company that you have now, you talk about, creating a marketing strategy where it's going from the stone age to the digital age. What would you consider the stone age for people that don't quite understand that? Because when we think digital age, we're like, hey, it's all digital, right? So what has changed over the years?
Yeah. So the stone age is really what I would call like the late 90s, early 2000s, especially when it comes to the SEO side of things. Honestly, even like 2010, you could call the stone age, where things like meta keywords were still a thing. People were still trying to target individual keywords versus today we're working on targeting topics. There's a larger breadth of information. And not only that, but people are more mature in their searches on Google. So over the last decade or so, honestly, I'd say searches went from really basic 2-word phrases to now people are asking Google full-blown questions. Like, instead of looking for Jordan sneakers, I'm looking for, Jordan sneakers for people with wide feet in a size 14.
Yeah.
So really helping brands understand that it's not just about the basic search that everybody's trying to go for. We want to answer questions at each step of the funnel, from, your customers not even knowing that they have an issue or not even knowing who you are, to then knowing they have an issue, knowing you are the expert or authority that can help them with that issue, and then, converting on the website or just converting in general.
So kind of break down to me the process of evaluating somebody's website. What is the first step? I come to you, Cory, I need more traffic. That's all I could tell you. I don't know. I'm illiterate with the rest of everything else, right? What do you say? What are some things you look at my website and start to kind of evaluate?
So the first thing we do is what we like to call a website quality audit, where we really break down the technical side of things first. So understanding, is your website fast? What does the page speed look like in Google's eyes? Because even a millisecond, when it comes to sites like Amazon and things like that, a millisecond loses Amazon $1 billion. So if your website is not fast, people are leaving ASAP. So number one, is it technically sound? Then number two, do you already have content on that website? Is it properly targeted? Things like that, really understanding like what is there as far as the existing scope of your content on your site. And then understanding after that, what does the market look like? Who are your competitors? And then really understanding who are the people that are looking for your product or service, which will then allow us to start to do things like keyword research, which is really, to me, the meat of the SEO game. And keyword research is analyzing various topics that your target audience would search and breaking them up into, whether it be, content pieces or just, general service pages that we could create. That is the way that people get to your website. So whether it's a question, whether it's a phrase, things like that, really understanding what is your target audience searching to find your service, and how do we put you at the forefront their mind when they execute that search.
And so make sure I understand this correctly. So you have some type of tool where, let's say I want to make a blog about burgers. So I'm saying how to cook burgers, how to make burgers well done, how to make them medium rare. Exactly. And then you see those phrases and you see how much traffic that phrase gets per month. And then based off the traffic, and then let's say the competitiveness of that topic, then we decide, all right, that's what we need to target so we can start getting a high amount of traffic.
Bingo. Exactly. And it's a little bit of art, a little bit of science, because, the science of it is that it's very data driven, right? We want to go after queries that are high in volume but low in difficulty. Find that sweet spot, maybe even high in volume, medium in difficulty, depending on the size of your brand. But we also want to build content that engages with your reader or with your audience and entices them to convert, to buy whatever product you're selling, to call you for a free consultation if you offer a service, things like that. So it's not just, a lot of people get stuck in creating content for search engines and not for human beings. But
I like that.
The real kind of, knack of a skilled SEO is you're creating it for both. Honestly, you obviously want that visibility. So you do need to address, how search engines interpret it, but you're also building content that, your target audience is going to find value in.
I love that you said that because I know earlier you mentioned about funnels. So I'm like, oh yeah, we got to make sure we talk about that because the biggest thing is, and I've seen some people do it, they do have enough traffic to where they make, let's say, $10,000 a month off of Google ads, whether people click on it or just happen to go past it and they make money off of that, or like maybe affiliate links. But not everybody can do that. And because maybe your niche is so specific. But maybe what you do doesn't require you to bring in 30,000 page views a month. You just maybe need about 5,000, and out of the 5,000, you get 5 high ticket sales. That's all you needed for the rest of the month. So this is great that you that's your focus, to convert to whatever it may be. And that's I find that very interesting personally, because like I told you, I'm always look for something like that as well. But especially if somebody's trying to figure out that gap between, I have a product, I know I need traffic, but I can't connect to my audience that I need to reach out to. And I know my product is good. So that's good that y'all help bridge that gap for us. You have strategy phases where you have like I see that it says a website quality audit, Google Analytics audit, site architecture and analysis, and a technical SEO audit. So you talked a little bit, I think, about the technical side. Google. Let's talk about Google Analytics.
Sure.
What are you looking for in that Google Analytics audit?
So I see a lot of businesses who, some of them have Google Analytics. When it comes to more enterprise size businesses, they have their Google Analytics platform set up. But when it comes to medium and local size businesses, they often either don't know what Google Analytics is or don't have it set up on their website to accurately track their traffic. So, you know as well as I do, if you don't know who is coming to your site or what they're doing on your site, I mean, they're basically invisible at that point. So I couldn't tell you, what your website does without information on it. So we make sure with that Google Analytics audit that not only is it present on your website, but that we've got everything, whether it be, goals or conversions that we're tracking. If we're tracking events on the website, like things like button clicks and things like that, to really understand that conversion element. I want to know what your target audience is doing on your website so that we can better, strategize and better adjust during the duration of the campaign. So, if we're getting a lot of visits, not a lot of conversions, I can give that kind of consultative advice to you to say, all right, maybe we need to move the call to action button higher on your homepage or something like that. And really just understanding how organic search is behaving in comparison to your other channels. So how do your users behave when they come in from social media? How do they behave when they come in from paid search or, somebody else's website, as opposed to when they come in from a Google search? So really breaking down Google Analytics and ensuring that all of the pieces are put together at the beginning for a fruitful campaign, and to also deliver both you and I the maximum amount of information that is going to steer us forward.
With social media kind of, being a juggernaut, we'll say 5 years, because I only say 5 years because they just started to tap into people having applications within the app, like being able to forward people to their website, being able to shop within Facebook or in Instagram. So it's gotten very, I'll say, they've gotten very strategic in how they can keep you there, but still allow you as the content creator or whatever product you're providing to still make revenue. Would you consider a website still the let's say the prime alpha and still being able to generate traffic and revenue though?
I would, specifically for this reason. So you own it. It is not the property we saw with Elon Musk, right? Let's say Elon Musk decides to buy Twitter and blows up everybody's Twitter account to start from scratch. What's us, who are we to stop him from doing that if he wants to, honestly? Same with Facebook. Let's say Facebook determines that you posted something that was against their guidelines, and so they decide to suspend your account. What can you do about it? Not much, if anything. So with a website, you own that space. That is your space. And if you have the right tracking pixels and such on your website, you're capturing information about people who have volunteered to come to you. They've raised their hand and said that they're interested. So, for example, you could generate, an email list or email subscribers off of, something on your website. Let's say you have a valuable resource on your website and you want people to opt in to get that website. Well, now you have two resources that you theoretically own: an email list as well as your website. So to me, that is super helpful that Facebook, Instagram, and such are allowing you to purchase on their platform, and they want to keep you on the platform, because why wouldn't they? Your property, your web property is still the end all be all for both, converting and also just data collection, better understanding who your target audience is and how they behave.
When it comes to how you help people with their websites, do y'all become the administrators and kind of go in there and work things?
Yeah, it depends. For local businesses, we tend to be the ones that are uploading the content onto the website. But for larger scale companies, we're really delivering the product to them, and they've got a team to manage that. I find that it's easier to manage ourselves in terms of like publishing content, but it also gets you in a little bit of a slippery slope in that if we touch everything within the website, then all of a sudden everything within the website becomes fair game. And I'm not a web developer by any means, so I don't try to, I'm not trying to go down that rabbit hole. So I do try to keep it to, we're gonna upload your content, we're gonna publish your pages, we're gonna, fix titles and meta descriptions.
Yeah.
But I am not a coder, even though I went to school for 2 years to kind of be a coder. Yeah, that's not my realm. I do a lot of consulting for local like businesses and small business owners who don't have the resources to hire a web development guy or girl.
Yeah, and I had asked that because I saw you had site architecture analysis. So I was like, are you looking at like, all right, maybe you need to change the color on this title here because this color makes people feel like you're dismissive.
Mm-hmm.
You need to look like you're more credible. You're not necessarily trying to change somebody's complete page and like move code everything around. You're just trying to tweak and peak.
Correct. So in terms of site architecture, what I'm trying to do is help businesses. So let's use an e-commerce store as an example, right? Mm-hmm. If I am a luxury bag store, the site architecture should be built as though I've got, let's call it luxury jewelry. We've got our bags, we've got our earrings, we've got our necklaces. And then as we drop down each level, let's say we sort it maybe by brand. So it would be like example.com/bag/Prada. And then, /Prada/product. So what I'm trying to do is help the company build a taxonomy that's easily readable by the search engine. So they know where to go. They know if they go into that, bags directory that they're going to find all of the brands and all of the products, as opposed to if I had it all scattershot throughout the website, there would be no path for what we call like the search engine bots or crawlers. They need and want a nice, clear path throughout the entirety of your website so they can best understand it. If they can't, then they start hitting walls and dead ends and end up not crawling, which basically means not like scraping.
It's about like page indexing.
Exactly. So that if they don't crawl, they're not going to index. So that architecture is really ensuring that from a foundational standpoint, we're building your site or helping you rearrange your site for maximum crawlability, therefore maximum indexation, because we don't want anything left on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, and that was the thing there is like you have this, let's say you create an awesome resource page, but it's never been indexed.
Exactly.
You're like, I'm not getting any traffic on this. And then you identify why. So I'm assuming that'd be part of the process as well as I think, what is it called? I think it's called Google Console.
Google Search Console. Exactly.
Google Search Console. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
So at the beginning of every one of our campaigns, we start out with the strategy sprint, and that takes, we go into Google Search Console, we go into Google Analytics, we go into different keyword like rank tracker tools and things like that. We pull all of that data at a page by page level and analyze each one of your existing pages to understand, like you said, you've got a great resource. It's getting no traction whatsoever. Why is that? Oh, because there are no links pointing to it. It's basically an orphan off by itself on your website, and you think it's this great resource, and Google's like, I've never seen this thing.
Exactly. When it comes to earlier, you mentioned about how some people already have content on their page, mm-hmm. right? Let's say somebody's got 80 blogs Are you looking at those blogs, seeing how, let's just say they're not, performing the way they should?
Mhm.
Are you scrapping them, or are you finding better ways for it to be more effective?
That is exactly what we do. We analyze what you've got existing, and we identify there may be an issue. Let's say that your keyword targeting was off. You were targeting, for lack of a better term, you were targeting Nike shoes when you should have been targeting Reebok shoes. We go in and we make recommendations and put together guidelines to say, okay, let's do a little bit of a 180 here. This content is still usable. We should not be scrapping it. We just need to alter it a little bit. And, we offer optimization recommendations and things like that. That is really the crux of what we do. We're going in, we're lifting up the hood on your website. We're saying, hey, these 10 pages, they've got potential, just not the way you're using them today. We do a thorough analysis and deliver recommendations. We actually just published a couple of blog posts for one of our clients where he had, 500 words of content. And we were like, hey, add 500 more, tweak, let's say 20 or 30 words. And all of a sudden he went from 0 visits to 3,000 visits a month within 2.5 weeks. Sometimes it can be that fast. A lot of the SEO world says like, SEO takes a long time. You publish this thing and you got to wait 6 months and then all of a sudden it'll show up. While in certain cases, that's definitely true. In 2022, if you produce good, solid content and everything else is straight in terms of, you've got a solid amount of domain authority, your site is foundationally set up well, I see things turn around within a week and a half's time. And that is part of what we've made kind of the crux of our strategy, is instead of kind of chasing our tails and utilizing our resources on the minutia that doesn't drive results, we want to focus on exactly what gets results. And that's a thorough analysis, identifying those keywords, like I said previously, in terms of keyword research, delivering pointed content recommendations and optimization guidelines, and then thirdly, acquiring links to strengthen your domain. So that's kind of the back end that people don't necessarily talk about, is domain authority, and why, for example, Cory's website.com is never going to outrank Amazon for probably anything. Is because they've got so many external websites pointing links back into them that they're seen by Google as a juggernaut. And Google uses links as a proxy for popularity and authority. So those three elements are what we've really kind of honed into and decided, if we focus heavily on these aspects, we can make changes in, not overnight, but we can make changes a lot quicker than your traditional SEO campaign does, where they're scattershot all over the place, not necessarily as focused on what drives results versus, what an automated report delivers them on a weekly basis.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought up link building. So two things. I know I've heard that internal link building is great. Let's say one blog has a link to another blog, and that's another good way to crawl for crawling. But you talk about link building and content promotion. So are you talking about, let's say we build a blog and we get somebody else to have a backlink to that blog on their website?
Yep.
How do y'all go about doing that?
So we have a outreach process. It's pretty labor intensive, I won't lie. So
yeah, it's got to be like cold emails, like.
Yep, exactly. So we don't, it's not just email, but we try to form like genuine relationships with websites, so that it's not just, hey, I need this thing, right now it's hey, I have something of value, you have something of value, let's continue to build this relationship. So Yeah, we acquire, we have a database of thousands of websites that we've built relationships with and are able to acquire links from. Some are even things like NYU, so like universities that we've got relationships,
which is huge amounts of traffic.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing, is not just link building for link building's sake, but link building with the intent of also driving qualified traffic back to your website. So for example, I got a link for our agency website from Bloomberg. Bloomberg is not one of the, Bloomberg is a very reputable business website. Somebody contacted me off of Bloomberg because they were like, hey, I read that you were featured in this article in Bloomberg. Do you do digital marketing for, XYZ? And I was like, yeah, for sure. Getting myself featured in an article, which was, a lot of it was definitely like, hey, Bloomberg is a big publication and this is a really strong link back to our website, but also people are going to read this article and, may contact me. So you're almost killing two birds with one stone there. And that's the idea behind link building, is it's supposed to drive value from a domain authority standpoint, but also from hey, there are actual people reading this stuff. And, if they read that, you came out with a new product or you were featured in, X, Y, and Z event or whatever, they may contact you as a result of what they've read, on that other website. So link building is super valuable, but oftentimes gets a bad rap because a lot of people in the SEO industry are spammy with their link building, which you could just say, honestly, for SEO as a whole, you'll get somebody who will tell you they'll do it for, $1 a month. And I swear I'll get you on page 1 in 5 minutes too. So it's hard to battle sometimes an industry that has a reputation for spam, and that everyone says that they can do it. So I do try to distinguish myself when speaking to people about, SEO, and that it is not this super simple kind of fly by night thing that you can just do while you're watching TV with, your kids on the couch and expect to make millions.
Exactly. I give you an idea. Maybe we'll say it's a possibility of being a good idea. So you talked about NYU earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and having like a backlink to our, the website to create traffic.
Mm-hmm.
One idea, I'm not going to take the credit. I'll give the credit to my wife.
Okay.
Was doing a scholarship and posting that scholarship on one of those universities, and people obviously going to click on it, and that creates the traffic. Now, don't know how I would create the funnel to somehow you end up buying my book, but at least you get people engaging.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people would click on that.
Scholarships, sponsoring events, all like local events, things like that, trying to get in and, let's say like farmers market type stuff. There are a lot of innovative. So shout out to your wife. There are a lot of like innovative ways to not only get links, but generate traffic back to your site and just generate interest in your brand. At the end of the day, what this is you're trying to put your brand, your product, or your service in front of people who either have a problem and know they do, or have a problem and they have no idea that they do. One of our clients is a water damage restoration company, and we're going after things like storm damage, flood damage. What happens when I get mold on my wall? Those people don't know that they need a water damage, restoration company. They just know that there's mold in their house.
Yeah.
And that is really the crux of what we're trying to do. And what we do well is there are people at every stage of the funnel, and they are searching many different ways and many different things. Our job is to put you as the owner or as the, the enterprise business in front of those individuals, and then, let the website do the rest. The website is going to be what ultimately converts them, but we're going to be who entices them to click, on that search result to say, hey, I want to go there.
Oh, that's great, man. I really appreciate you breaking everything down in layman's terms. And I know probably some, people might be listening, like, these guys are geeks, but but it's stuff that you have to, like I said earlier, I think before we started recording, I'm not saying you have to be the subject matter expert on it, but at least be aware of what is needed for your business to thrive. I don't think, like you said with the newspapers, I think gone are the days where you can monopolize and create a bunch of revenue from simply having newspaper ads. And now we're starting to transition over to Web3, where now Web3 is going to be a thing. Web2 is going to be obsolete, which is obviously, I think, why Zuckerberg switched over to Meta as his brand instead of Facebook. So people are understanding the shift and they're trying to beat it. And it looks like you guys are understanding the ever evolving website, web development strategies on being effective in the digital world. And that's pretty awesome. Where can people find you?
They can find me at bccinteractive.com. That is our website, or my agency's website. Same name on Twitter, same name on Instagram, as well as TikTok.
Man, I gotta get better on TikTok. They said I gotta dance more. It's not really for me.
Yeah,
I'm more of a LinkedIn guy.
I am also a LinkedIn guy. You can find my personal LinkedIn at Cory J Young, MBA on LinkedIn. So yeah, I love TikTok in terms of it's short and sweet. Yeah, I don't consume much content on TikTok, honestly, just because I don't like to get trapped in the web of the web, if you will. I know that they're designed to steal our attention. So I try to get in and get out, but I won't lie. The TikTok rabbit hole has gotten me several times.
I know. I get a bunch of TikTok links from my wife as far as decorations for the house, like different designs. But what I like to always ask everybody is, what is your rich state of mind? What's your big why? Why are you doing something like this? You've been doing it for a little while now, and you're pretty consistent and passionate about it. So why is that?
Yeah, my why is honestly that I found something that I enjoy. I personally never thought I would enjoy work. I'm not going to lie. I found something that I enjoy, that challenges me, that I can challenge myself from an entrepreneurial standpoint, as though, like, can I really do this, and can I do it multiple times over, and can I do it well? And then additionally, my why is that I love people, and so I built this agency with my friends by my side, working alongside me. They're the reason I enjoy coming to work every day. For me, if it weren't for the people, I don't think it would be as enjoyable doing it solo. So that's always been my a strong why. Is the social aspect of interacting with people from all different backgrounds.
I love it, man, and I really appreciate you being up here, Cory. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks.
I haven't had the opportunity to talk about web design and SEO and stuff like that for a while. So thanks for refreshing me on certain things as well too. Like I said, this is important. We have to make sure that people understand these concepts. To provide the best return on their investment, because you're going to invest some money into having a good website, one that is productive and efficient. So the best thing is that obviously it provides what you want, and providing information and content to people, and hopefully a better lifestyle for you by providing some more income.
Absolutely.
So thanks a lot, Cory. It's been awesome.
Thank you for sticking with us from the start of the episode. Please share our show with friends and family, visit our YouTube channel, and view more of our content on richstateofmind.com. See you next week on the Rich State of Mind Show.